For Marcus Arnold, a super thanks, by the way. Also, Mailbag being filmed on Monday. This is therapy hour. So you're still in your 24-hour window to vent and be able to retract it later if you need to. Don't freak out. They saw what they got in the playoffs from Green Bay. I'm glad this happened earlier so they don't forget and prepare. Marcus also said the Cowboys fans are fair weathery. It drives me crazy. Stop whining. 44 points still equals one loss or one win. How many teams you dropped 40 on last year? The answer is 5. We have 0 trophies to show for it. Calm down. First off, thank you for the super thanks, Marcus. I appreciate that. My main counterpoint is they had one of these games against Arizona. They didn't play well, kind of laid an egg. And I think it's these types of games that give us concern over the lack of trophies on there. Like, that's my concern. But I do understand the it's only one game aspect. So with that in mind, be honest for me. What is your panic level right now over the Cowboys? Scale it from 1 to 10 in the comment section of today's video. From Mark, as you know, Tom, I don't like Dak. That said, we lost from the D. The thing is, when you pay the guy the most ever, his arm should at least keep you in games. Yes, but there's no answer that realistically exists. Kind of like what you said there earlier of, hey, the Cowboys defense allowed 6 straight scoring drives, touchdown drives. Like, the only way you win that game is if Dak throws for 500 yards and scores 60. Because I think the Saints kind of stopped a little bit. They took the foot off the gas in the fourth quarter when they were up 44 points already. They could have dropped 70 on like that Dolphins-Broncos game last year, right? Like, they pulled Alvin Kamara. Like, yeah, the offense wasn't good enough either, but, like, you know, you lost because of the D. I agree. Also phrasing. From Mark, I've always said, look who we beat. This is a prime example. We got all going to beat the Browns with a lame quarterback, missing a Pro Bowl tight end, running back, and 2 tackles. Sure feels that way, doesn't it? Look, big test for you against the Ravens this week. You beat 4 playoff teams last year. The problem is, to do the stuff we want to do, you have to beat 3 or 4 in a row. And I don't think any of us have confidence in that happening right now. From Charles, going to trade for a wide receiver like Jakobi Meyers. Maybe. Raiders not quite folding over quite yet, so maybe not. Here's my issue overall when it comes to a trade. Like, how much does Jakobi Meyers really change your outlook? Like, you're better with him. Are you better enough with the lack of moves you made this season and the fact that, let's be honest, probably going to fire Mike McCarthy or invite him not to return, whatever. I don't know if I want to, like, go out and you know, shoot my shot. Like, I might keep my powder dry. Outside of, like, multi-year solutions or high-end impact guys I can't get next off season, I might just wait. Which I know sucks to hear, but Cowboys are a 10 to 12 win team. And probably more of a 10-win team, if that. And I don't think you're better than the Lions, the 49ers, probably not the Eagles. I don't know if there's realistic options out there to go get you over the hump because you missed your window this past offseason. So will the Cowboys make a trade? Y for yes, N for no. Go vote in the comments, especially the ad comes here on YouTube. Ecuador Man AOG, it's only one game. How many games are in 28 years? Kind of my mindset as well. That game against the Saints is the exact type of game that you run into in the playoffs. It's the exact type of game that has caused issues from a philosophical perspective year in, year out from the Cowboys organization. That's why we're all worried, because we've seen it before. If this were a new way to lose a game, okay, you chalk it up to, like, you know, if Aubrey misses a field goal late in the game and you lose by 2, we're probably not going to freak out the same way because he's normally really good. But when your defense gets gashed again, well, we done seen that story before. We know how it ends. That's the concern. From Mark, to make it clear, I'm not a hater. I'm just tired of the same crap. We play solid all-around teams. We rarely win. Philadelphia isn't a good all-around team. They might be now. We'll see how that plays. I don't see him for a little bit. We'll know for certain by then. But yeah, you don't. Look, it's hard to beat playoff teams. That's why most teams in the playoffs are around 500 against other playoff teams. How it goes. But you got to make the run. And until we see them make the run, what's the point? Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time Picks is a new feature that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks puts out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It is curation designed to save you even more money. Also, check out the all-in pricing feature. Just turn it off or on to see the total up front, so there are no surprise fees at checkout. So download the Game Time app today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Well, again, create your account over at GameTime.co. Redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today, because time is it? It's game time. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Mr. J, didn't we sign Dalvin Cook? Where is he? You signed Dalvin Cook to the practice squad because he hadn't been on a team all offseason. He needed more time to get up to speed. Dalvin Cook is kind of an interesting case. Kind of like Lyle Collins last year. You're just going to have to trust the coaching staff and what they see out there. I do think they moved away from Zeke after 1 week because they didn't like what they saw from him outside of the touchdown run, frankly. And they gave more reps to Dowdle as a result. I have a very tough time seeing how you activate Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott at the same time. Because those are two backs that don't play on special teams. And if Dowdle's going to be your lead back, you can't put him out there on special teams. So the numbers game gets real tight, unless you want to make one of those Zeke Dowdle guys a scratch. I don't know if they want to do that. And given this organization, you would wonder if that's Dowdle over Zeke, despite that looking a little bit better through the first two games. You're also at the point where maybe you try stuff. And if Cook looks good, give him a game and then make a decision. From Busch Gardens fan, where was the run defense yesterday in the game against the Saints, like how we should have against Cleveland? A couple things. Saints got to the edges on you. The Browns didn't. Saints just beat you on the outside. Saints' game plan was better. They got you into base personnel a lot, and you didn't fit the run properly, and the Saints are playing with the advantage the entire time. Defense never got to stop until the fourth quarter. Browns were behind, playing catch-up, throwing the ball around. Look, Saints just took it to you. That's kind of how it went. William Wright. Trey Lance, Jaylen Wright, who says no? The Dolphins do. Hey, come on. I mentioned this earlier, right? I don't think there's no way the Dolphins say yes to that. Dolphins put a third-round pick on Jaylen Wright because they are a parody of themselves and they love speed. I'd have loved to have had Jaylen Wright. Love to have got him on my team. I think he's exactly what you're missing in your running back room. Scheme and O-line issues aside. But the Dolphins are not doing that. I think they'd be more inclined to go get Bryce Young before they got Trey Lance. Put your trade ideas for me in the comments section. No triggering me. Let's make them good trade ideas on today's show. Ruben, Jerry, please fire Mike McCarthy, get a new head coach. Come back in January, guys. I think that's what happens. They're not going to do it right now. Who's going to be your head coach? Brian Schottenheimer? The Zimmer-led defense just gave up 44 points in a row? No way. Carlitos way. I didn't mean to do that, I promise you. Activate Ryan Flournoy, Kelvin Harmon, demote both of the Jaylens at wide receiver. Need bigger physical wide receivers for Dak. I've seen enough of the Jaylens, in my opinion. So I am on board with Flournoy and pushing down Brooks. I actually thought Tolbert was pretty solid in that game. He had one of your only contested catches you've made all year long. You're 4 for 12 on contested catches this season. I thought he was actually fine in that game. Jalen Brooks can get out of here. And I don't think you need physical wide receivers. I think you need speed. As we'll get into, your dudes ain't getting open. There's not a lot of separation. I think that's partially a schematic thing, to be clear. But Tolbert made a contested catch for you. He didn't fall down on a route and lead to a pick. He had 82 yards. I thought he was fine. Now, I think he is your third or fourth option. He can't be your number 2 option in a game. He's not there yet. He might not ever get there. I think you really missed out not having Jake Ferguson in this matchup. So when Cowboys news hits, we've got you covered. Maybe one of those trades you guys suggest ends up happening. Make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/CowboysTV. Objapawar, can/should Dak elevate these wide receivers? Yes and maybe. Well, I guess maybe and yes. Whichever one we want to go there. Like, obviously, Lamb's good. Tolbert was a third-round pick. Bad results in year 1, better in year 2, TBD on year 3. Your quarterback also can't literally elevate the wide receiver so he doesn't fall down. Like, look, Dak Prescott right now has one of the highest tight window throw percentages in the NFL. That's what elevating is. You're still completing an above average expectation throw rate with tight windows a lot. Like, I can't make Kevontae Turpin not drop 2 passes on 4 targets all year. Like, I can't. There's not a lot that I can do there. I can't make them be better at contested catches. Dak threw a really good ball to Jalen Brooks and he fell down. And not much I can do there. You know? You moved the ball pretty well on offense in that game. You didn't finish drives. That's, I think, again, a coaching issue. Your red zone game planning kind of sucks. But where are you at? From Brycon, any interest in Bryce Young? Timing's wrong. If you had like 2 years left on Dak's deal, maybe. Not when you've got 4.5, 4 3/4. Because the time Bryce Young's deal is over, you're still going to have Dak under contract. So timing's not right. He'll go somewhere else because it's probably not going to be Carolina anymore. Mighty Ant 0215. Trade for running back and a good defensive tackle. In a bubble, yes. And if I can find long-term guys, I'm down with it. But here's my issue. We have said get a running back and get a defensive tackle since the start of the offseason. And you didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? Why? It's the goose meme. Why didn't you make upgrades, Cowboys? You're paying the price for it. I don't know if you're going to be able to realistically, at a cost that makes sense long term, find those options. I don't know if it's possible for you because you missed your window in March, in April, in February even. Devin Hanks, a $5 super chat. Trey Lance and a 4th rounder for DeAndre Hopkins. Titans say no. Titans don't want Trey Lance. They're giving Will Levis time. When it comes to Trey Lance, guys, I hate to say it and say it's going to sound mean. It's going to sound mean, but I'm just going to say it. Your trash is not somebody else's treasure, okay? You want him because you don't like him. Titans saw what we saw in the preseason too. Hopkins, they want to give Will Levis more weapons, not take them away. Don't get your hopes up.